So today I'm going to share with you the 3 biggest reasons why prospects are ghosting you. Yes, this is all about freight broker sales. This is a freight broker sales training that's designed to help you and prevent you from getting ghosted during your freight broker sales process, during your freight broker sales cold call. So that's what we're going to cover today. And here's the biggest thing you have to learn. At the end of this, I'm going to share with you a link to a cheat sheet. It's an actual email script that shippers can't resist to stop them from ghosting you, so that you can continue to move forward with the sales process. So it's a special script I'm going to share with you, but you got to stick around to the end. Number 1, and these are not in any discernible reason or order, one of the biggest reasons why you're getting ghosted is that you failed to schedule a solid follow-up meeting, a solid follow-up action. Okay. So here's the thing, guys. You get on a phone call, you have a great call with your prospect. And then at the end of it, you or he or she say, yeah, call me next week, or call me next Thursday, or call me next Monday, or I'll give you a call next week. A very soft, right? Non-committal type of a follow-up. And I know that's comfortable for you because you don't want to pressure your prospect and you don't want to seem overly aggressive. But here's the objective, and here's the rule of thumb that I have at the end of a sales call. You should never leave a call without scheduling the next call. Okay, does that make sense? So we do a great cold call. We've built some great rapport. We've gathered some sales intelligence. They're interested. Maybe they ask us to do some freight quotes. And now, before I hang up that phone, I need to schedule a solid follow-up meeting, a solid follow-up call. That means a day and a time and an agenda for that call. So don't get off the phone unless you have a solid follow-up process in place. And calling you next week or calling you next Monday or calling you next Thursday, that's not solid enough. You'll fall back to that. And if the shipper, the prospect, is unwilling to schedule a call, that is a signal that something is missing and that you may want to dig back into that sales process, because ultimately, if they're not willing to schedule a call with you, then there's typically a problem. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2, it really has nothing to do with you. It's not anything you did wrong. They're just busy and they've got other things going on. Now, here's a common mistake that I see freight brokers and freight agents making when it falls into this category. So, we have a great call and then you leave it with, hey, call me next week. And then you follow up next week and they don't pick up the phone. And then they don't return your email and they don't accept your LinkedIn request. And then they don't return your voicemail. And then they don't return the next email. And what happens is you get frustrated and you let your frustration show in your communications. So you let that show in your communications, and so it comes out as either desperate or aggressive. So at this point, you've got to keep cool. What you don't want to do is you don't want to seem unprofessional. You don't want to drive them away. It's not personal. Yeah, that's what you have to understand. In this case, just because they're not following up with you, it may mean that they're just busy. And so don't take it personal. Don't let those things show. All right. So that's number 2. Number 3, you failed to identify a pain or an issue that they need to solve. That's your failure, not theirs. Pain can come in a bunch of different formats, right? It can be price. It can be capacity. It could be some sort of special needs, right? It could be some sort of specialized transportation or specialized needs, like a white glove service or expedite, or, something out of the norm. It could be poor service. Maybe they're not being serviced by their existing providers the way they want. And there's a whole bunch of other reasons, right? But ultimately, you need to identify a need, a challenge, a pain that shipping prospect is looking to solve. No pain equals no sale. That's part of your job in those initial calls, is to identify those challenges by asking good questions and getting them to open up, build some rapport, and then asking some good questions to identify those challenges and those gaps where you may be able to fit yourself in and provide them some sort of solution or, an answer to their problems. All right. So those are the 3. Listen really carefully. You failed to schedule a strong follow-up appointment. They're just busy and it's nothing to do with you. Or number 3, you failed to identify pain. You failed to identify the challenges that they need and want to solve. Let's jump in really quick. Now, again, a lot of people will follow up by phone or by email or by LinkedIn, and they show their frustration. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you really quickly a script, an email script, and we're going to break it apart real quick. So let me just share my screen. Okay, so here's the script. script. Stop getting ghosted by shippers' email script. All right. So we're going to break this down really quick. The subject line, you want to be a little bit different. This is an example that I found online. I thought it was an interesting subject line. Should I stay or should I go? That's a simple, but you want to be a little bit catchy, a little bit interesting, a little bit different. And then it starts out with, Joe, I haven't heard back from you. And that tells me one of three things. Number one, you're not interested in letting us help you with your logistic challenges. And if that's the case, please let me know so I can stop bothering you. Now, this is again, follow up after you've made multiple attempts to follow up via email, multiple attempts to follow up by phone, or maybe even face to face. That's part one. You're not interested in letting us help you with your logistic challenges. And if that's the case, please let me know so I can stop bothering you. Number two, you're still interested, but haven't had the time to get back to me. Or number three, you've fallen and can't get up. And in that case, let me know and I'll call 911 for you. Please let me know which one it is because I'm starting to worry. I look forward to hearing back from you. Cheers, Dennis. That's an example of a sales script, an email sales script, an email follow-up script that will help you with your follow-up because number one, it's very simple and it identifies three primary reasons why they aren't following up with you. They may reply back and say, yeah, we're just not interested. Great. At least now you know that you don't need to continue to follow up and build that barrier between, because the more you follow up when they're not interested, the more aggravated and annoyed they're going to get, and the less likely you'll be able to follow up with them and get their business in the future. Number two, you're pointing out the fact that they just haven't had the time. That means you understand them. They may reply back and say, hey, I'm really sorry, I haven't gotten back to you. Let's set up a call next week. Or you go to number three, which is the funny, right? Which is the witty, which is what breaks their pattern and gets them to respond. So this is an example of a simple email script, and there are hundreds of other permutations of this, but this is just one email script that shippers can't resist when they've ghosted you on previous follow-up. Listen, if you guys want that script, here's what you're going to need to do. Go to freightbrokerbootcamp.com/email script. That's where you'll go to download this. I'm going to create that link afterwards and you guys will be able to download that. And listen, I really appreciate you guys being here. Listen, if you guys need help getting shippers, if you're struggling with the sales process, if you're struggling with the entire process, A to Z of getting through the sales process, and you really need a mentor and a coach, check out Freight Broker Sales Accelerator. That's an 8-week live coaching program where I take that piece of my brain, I transplant it into your head, and I teach you my best freight broker sales strategies, tactics, tools, but most importantly, my entire system that allowed me to do over $200 million as a freight broker. Okay. So you guys can get on the wait list for that, and you can check out all the details for that at freightbrokerbootcamp.com/waitlist. All right. So appreciate you guys doing this. Listen, make sure if you enjoyed this, hit the like button, share the stream, ask any questions that you have in the comments, and we'll see you guys next week on the next Freight Broker Bootcamp Live.